Did I also? I don't know if you saw the pictures that I posted of this guy.
Oh, look at him.
He's so cute.
Is he Lego
Yeah. Well,
or
actually,
bicycle?
Mega Constructs. Mega Constructs, not Lego, but some other building company. It's close to Lego. It is. It seems like a Lego. It builds the same way as Legos do.
Yeah,
But yeah, pretty cool.
good old Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Did they not have a Charmander for you?
No, they didn't. They only had the Bulbasaur. I wish. Somebody else on Twitter that I talked to a lot was like, "Oh, I got the Charmander one for my boyfriend," and I was like, I fucking want that. Give me one." No.
You're like, wait, why am I not your boyfriend?
Yeah. Why are? Yeah. Seriously. Gosh.
You
Why am
didn't
I?
give that to me. Who are you cheating on me with?
Who? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I should have probably responded with that first rather than why didn't you? Oh, that'd be funny. Alrighty. Are we ready for this?
I am.
Let's do it. Hello and welcome back to the Irresponsible Comic Book Podcast. My name is Evan. I'm the producer here. And this is our resident expert. His name is Dylan. We're here to talk to you about Thor. Love and Thunder. Just kidding. Thor 1. The greatest Thor movie to ever be created. And we're going to talk about how bad it was. Because it was...
Wait. The greatest Thor movie to ever be created in 2011.
Yeah, sorry. I forgot. The greatest Thor movie made in 2011.
It was 2012, right? Or was it 2012?
Yeah, 2011, yeah. Anyways, we're here to talk about it and why it was a good and or bad film. This is the How Bad Was It series. We have already filmed this video once, so if we miss a couple things or we don't cover all the bases is because we thought we already said it probably. We tried to film this a couple days ago. The files got corrupted, but we are back here again to talk about how great this film was. So let's just jump into it. We get to... I keep getting spam calls like that. Yep. Jesus. Anyways, just like this movie scammed us, and we are not happy about it. We thought that we go to this giant gold palace and into the treasure room, and we think we have a tesseract, but it's not the tesseract. We all think it is. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something that's scammy. Yeah, it's not actually the Tesseract. It's just some little box that connects Jotunheim to Asgard. Anyways, so we start off in Asgard. We get this beautiful CGI scene of Asgard and this gold palace and gold world with a giant rainbow bridge, and it's super beautiful. And then we get introduced in this. There's this hallway full of soldiers, and Thor's walking through it with his hammer and shouting and screaming. Everyone's happy for him. And
it's his inauguration to become the king.
Yeah, he's gonna take over for Odin, and Odin's gonna step down as the king, and Thor is going to become the king today. And instead of that happening, we get sent down to the throne room. Underneath it, and it's the trophy room, and there's some frost giants, not ice giants. Frost giants underneath trying to steal the little box that looks like the Tesseract. It's something that like transports matter in between Jotunheim, in between the different realities, or dimensions. I'm sorry, between Jotunheim and Asgard, and it's their main power source over in Jotunheim, and they have been without it for millennia since Odin went there and conquered them and destroyed their whole civilization, basically.
Stole the box.
Yeah, Odin's a dick. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that part yet, because
that was old Odin.
Yeah.
Before he became super wise Odin.
Yes, exactly. That is the old guy. The old guy.
I wonder if we're jumping off a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think Hela was part of that?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think they showed it in that movie because they didn't want to have there be too many players involved, and it also just doesn't make sense to like show Odin. I mean, I guess it kind of would to like show Odin banishing Hela, and then like have that parallel Thor being banished, but then like Thor being able to redeem himself, whereas like maybe the reason that Hela's still locked away is because she never could.
She could not actually redeem
Yeah,
herself. She was just stuck in being who she was.
yeah, exactly. So
Interesting.
maybe that's something they could have included. That I didn't even think about that till now. Interesting. But either way, they didn't include her in that. But she probably was part of conquering Jotunheim and destroying it. But they just chose not to include her.
And that's kind of just how Asgard became the rulers of the Nine Realms.
It did, yeah.
Because, I mean, we'll have to, when we go back to watch Ragnarok, because the mural that she breaks down off
Yeah,
of the ceiling,
yeah.
just kind of
She
look at that a little bit closer
see if there's
to see if
frost
there's any,
giants.
yeah, Easter eggs in there.
Yeah, interesting. We should. I'm sure we could go do that later today, even. But, um, yeah. Anyway, so Odin destroyed the frost giants in Jotunheim and stole their power source, and then because the frost giants came and interrupted the ceremony of Thor being king, he does not get inaugurated. He does not become the king, and he's very frustrated and wants to go and attack Jotunheim to put them in their place. And he goes, if they did it once, they'll do it again, and we need to stop them from ever thinking they should come here because they should not be here. And so he really dislikes it and wants to put an end to it. So he suggests that, and Odin says, "Well, you can't do that because you're not the king yet." And Thor's like, and Loki's just standing there like,
Loki's like, yep,
"Oh, weird."
this was all my fault, but I'm not saying
He's very, very, very good at playing it off like he didn't have anything to do with it, and that he is trying to sympathize with his brother to get him to be aggressive and go over there. Ultimately, Loki's whole plan is to get, Thor banished one way or another, or taken, seen in a light from his father that he's not ready to rule, but that Loki, for whatever reason, is. So this whole plan that he's developed
was to
that carries out through the movie
Odin to give him the throne.
And ultimately, it does not work because Odin can see everything, even more so than Heimdall, and so even in his sleep, he knows Loki's intentions and true nature. Same with Thor, and it's basically this whole movie is sort of a test for Thor, um, to see if he's really worthy to become. It's like his final test to make sure he's worthy to become king. And even in choosing that, he turns down being the king, which is kind of the point of the test, I think. I don't know. Anyways, that's just maybe too meta for this movie. It doesn't, play out till Thor Ragnarok even, and Thor the Dark
Yeah, I
World.
mean, ultimately, I think he just realized that he wasn't. He still had a lot to learn, or a lot of room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I think is what the end of the movie when he turned down becoming the king again.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he didn't really turn it down. It's just Odin was like,
Odin was not.
"You're now ready, my son." But like,
But then, yeah.
like
Maybe there's like a official period of wait time where like, oh, we were gonna do an inauguration, but it got canceled because of something that happened down in the room, and because it got interrupted, and the ceremony didn't happen, we have to wait like 30 days for it to go again. Like a one, you gotta wait a month actually before you can try the ceremony again. Everybody's working again. They have to request a day off, like a 2. Everyone has to put in their 2-week notice.
I bet
Attend this
what it
ceremony.
really is that it just takes a toll on Odin, like because he's got
Oh yeah,
he's already
old.
getting ready to go into his Odin sleep, and he's been pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off.
Yeah.
So like, I bet it just takes some form of power from him.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yep.
So.
100%. Yeah. So anyway,
Like, why
we.
would it be better in a month? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
no. I think he just waits for whatever reason. It's just it's that power transfer. Yeah, I'm sure there's some Norse mythology reason why they have to wait on it. Um, I don't
maybe
know.
it's like the alignments of the stars in the sky.
Yeah, it could be that. It really could. That would actually make a lot of sense. Astrology bitches. let us know what the fuck. Let us know about the alignments in Norse mythology. Just kidding. Anyways, but yeah, so we Thor doesn't get to become king. He gets aggressive. He attacks Jotunheim against his father's wishes, and Odin has to come save his ass. He brings him back to Asgard, but then immediately banishes him and strips him of his power and sends him to
Good
Earth.
scene though, like the scene where he's like yelling at Odin and Odin's yelling back at him, and then he's like, "Well, you're just a foolish old man." Like,
Mm-hmm. It's a really intense scene. I think it's one of the better points of conflict actually. Like that like really, I mean, like obviously him like saying before, like in the trophy room, like you cannot attack them, and like reinforcing the scene when they were kids, like the same exact scene in the trophy room, kind of like where you should not seek out war. He tries to reinforce it. It doesn't like drive home the you know, I don't know, the necessity of that sort of that lesson. And so then he makes the mistake. I think that's part of, like, you know, overall theme is like you have to make mistakes and learn what's right and wrong to kind of know what's right and wrong down the road. Like you can't just like hear something to believe it, you know.
I
You
think
have to
that might have been
experience it.
part of Odin's plan overall, is because
Yeah.
like
Is
like he wants his son to make the mistakes so he knows not to do
not
it
to make
again.
it when he's actually in charge. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the best way to do that is if you're actually making the mistake
Mm-hmm.
and not somebody else
Then
making
you,
it for
yeah,
you, and then
there's
but
actual consequences involved
yeah.
here, and then he has to live those out by getting his power stripped. Like, hey, that's your consequence. You did this. You shouldn't have done this. You know that you shouldn't have done this. I told you not to. I'm your acting
hmm
king. Bye. And he's like, oh shit, I can't. So,
So one thing that I did not really catch up on, but my girlfriend like noticed it when we were watching Avengers last night,
mm-hmm.
is that uh, all the scenes that involve Chris Hemsworth and like Loki or
Mm-hmm.
Hiddleston,
Yep.
the scenes of them together, or like if it's just one other person, felt like a stage performance.
Yeah.
Because like they're well, Hiddleston is like classically trained,
Yep.
like on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hemsworth
Hemsworth
at that
was.
time had more stage.
He wasn't even a very big actor. He didn't have a lot of acting performances prior to Thor.
No,
So,
but I think he had more stage
yeah.
performances overall than anything.
Yep.
Like Thor was his first big shot,
Yep.
which we saw what happened. He
Mm-hmm.
brought the hammer
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, he did.
I'm making a Avengers joke,
That's pretty good.
but but I think they initially did it like on purpose. Like if you think about it, like Thor doesn't interact with more than like three other people at a time
Yep.
in any of the movies that he's in, up until like past Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
Like
That's
so,
actually yeah.
I think because he still had that like stage performance like part to him.
Yeah.
So then
He
they,
just had to have to be surrounded by people to play off of.
yeah,
Interesting.
um,
Yeah, that kind of makes sense because he's always with Selvig, Jane, and Darcy, or he. I mean, like he does
there's
have
not
like.
really anybody else. There's other
Yeah.
people in on the stage, but he's not interacting with
Yeah,
them.
and then like the other scenes that he has where like there aren't other people he's directly interacting with is like the dramatic scenes where he's like pulling the hammer. He's like no, like the really
Or the shit out of him. Like
yeah.
it's him and one other person.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah, he's never really alone. Like even like when he's getting bailed out, like he's like either one, like this is really interesting because he's talking to Loki or talking to Coulson. Then Coulson leaves the room. Loki's immediately there, and
mm-hmm.
he talks to Loki, and then Loki leaves, and Coulson's immediately back. Like there's no alone time for Thor to really perceive. And then he's like with Eric Selvig as he leaves, and then even like in Age of Ultron, he can't go do this quest alone, so they bring Selvig.
Yeah, he doesn't have any like solo lines.
No.
So I think they'd realized that because maybe his solo lines were a little weak.
Yeah.
They needed somebody in the like room with him.
Yeah.
So he was
Interesting.
more so talking to the person instead of talking to a camera.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like just at the start of his career. He's a lot better
Yeah.
now,
Oh yeah.
but
I'm
because they kind of did the same thing with Hiddleston too, but not as much.
yeah.
Because there was a couple scenes that he was alone, quote unquote, like
Yeah.
he wasn't talking to anybody in
Hmm.
those scenes. But I don't know if he said anything.
Yeah. He didn't really say anything. It was like him trying to pull the hammer again too. Like right after the interrogation, there was like the scene where uh, he's like alone in the throne room for a brief moment, and he's like, I don't know. I guess like he does a bit better, like emotionally, like displaying, like
Oh, he's
him like
really
trying to
professionally
take the
like
yeah
actor.
yeah. He's like trying to take the little block thing for it, like transports him to Jotunheim. He's like about to take it or whatever, and Odin tells him to stop. And then even when Odin like passes out or goes into Odin's sleep, he's able to like guards. I guess
Well,
he's
that was
alone, but
a weak line,
yeah,
but I think that was overall his weakest line,
yeah.
like the delivery of that line. But
I thought it was actually decent,
well, it wasn't a
but
bad line. It's
yeah,
just the delivery
yeah,
of it was a little bit awkward.
yeah. Hmm.
Uh, I'm not a trained actor teacher, so.
Come on, Tom, do better. Just kidding. You can deliver that a bit better, Tom. He's like, what are you? He's like
That,
listening to this right now. These motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about.
rewatching them, going, and that line was a little weak.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that the more we do this, the like more that we're gonna like be critical of stuff or be able to be critical. Like just the more practice we have analyzing
well,
these films.
I know I said it last time we recorded this that the weakest line overall was actually the oh my
Oh
god,
my god, the Jane line. Yeah,
like
that's
the Jane Foster
yeah.
line.
Um, I feel like we haven't gotten out of the throne room and the trophy room. We haven't even talked about anything on Earth yet, really. And we're like
Yeah,
17 minutes in. Anyways, so the rest, I don't know. I think that the opening like 20-30 minutes with the stuff on Asgard and Jotunheim is actually the best stuff on the whole film, and everything on Earth is like good, but it's decent. It's not good even. It's just like it works. I
Yeah,
don't like any of the stuff that happens on Earth other than like the another like that's a good scene, and then like the, the stuff at the
well,
conclusion of the film is great, but like everything
the
in the
scenes on
middle.
Earth aren't very good until it involves a person from Asgard coming in.
Yes, like when
'Cause,
the
like when they're in the
Warriors
shop
5.
and like Sif and the Warriors 5 show up, and then like they're walking through town, and then like
Exactly.
the big dude's like, "We found you!"
Yeah,
and
yeah. It's just
everybody's like, "Oh, he's not joking. He's actually telling the truth this whole time."
exactly. Yeah.
Like
So I just didn't like a lot of the stuff that happens on Earth. I think like we said last time, the only good scene that we really liked, I honestly think is a great scene even, is the scene where Thor starts explaining to Jane what's going on, like with the different dimensions.
yeah, he explains the nine realms
Yeah,
to her,
the different
and
realms.
she was like already on the same track of like figuring it out, but he's like,
He like
no, they're all
solidifies.
connected by Yggdrasil, the World Tree, like blah
Hmm.
blah blah blah. Like
Yeah, the chemistry is really good in that scene, but everything else seems super
the rest
forced.
of it's a little weird. Yeah,
And like Eric Selvig is this like super genius that understands like so much about the world, and he's like getting like caught up with, oh, there's a man from space. He just doesn't. He comes around by the end of the film, and like in Avengers, like you can tell he's this. He gets his capacity goes from like, oh, he's this guy who can't understand a man from space and other realms to like he's doubting it, and then he
hmm
goes to this guy who's like, oh, I know everything about the world, and then like even in Thor: The Dark World, he's like this crazy madman explaining it, at a old folks' home, and it's like he's obviously very smart, but he just gets dumbed down for this movie. Same as so does Jane. And Darcy's like just comedic relief, which I mean, you need it a little bit, but like
she was good.
Her lines are better than anyone else's there, with the two of them being like these ultra genius scientists, So,
well, I think because she was kind of like the audience insert.
Yeah, she was.
Like,
it just, maybe that just makes her more relatable in general because she's the insert, but she's the character that everyone can relate to. But, what else do we have to say about the plot in the overall movie? Do we want to talk about the Thor and Loki battle at the end, and or like Loki's treachery overall, with him going behind Odin's back? And
I mean, we can, but like it's not like we're gonna say anything new.
Yeah, there's nothing else that we could really contribute that hasn't been said. Or that we didn't say last time that we recorded.
I know, like, last time we were kind of saying, like, the villains in this one were better than the villains in Iron Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
But then the story and the writing was way better in Iron Man, that ultimately I thought makes Iron Man a better film. And even though that, the villains are way better, which is, like, a good foil to have for the story overall, that like I don't know if you ended up agreeing with me or not that Iron Man 2 is better than Loki.
Yeah,
on like the 2 scale even.
Thor.
Or the Loki series is way better, sorry, than either of these. My bad. Thor's the Iron Man 2.
Oh yeah, the writing overall I think was just slightly better in the Iron Man movie than the Thor movie.
Yeah. I think that also
just been like the overall just 2 brand new actors essentially, like screen actors.
Yeah, and also the fact that the tone they were trying to do was like too almost medieval.
Well, it was
Asgard. Yeah.
Like the whole movie was supposed to be kind of like a play, Shakespearean style.
Yeah.
Like,
which is why I think it's funny when they do it in Ragnarok with the play, and they're going to do it again in Love and Thunder. So, who they should get to play.
Last time I can't remember exactly what I said, but it was about Jeremy Renner and how he just makes the people around him better.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner did a great job as like a complimentary actor to this. It's sort of like Natasha's role in Iron Man 2. Like Hawkeye being there was a good compliment to that scene in the.
It helps overall getting to know who he is in Avengers.
Yeah.
It was good that they brought him in, even for a small role.
Yep.
In this movie. And then they helped his character by actually giving him a reeve curve bow instead of the compound bow that he had in this movie.
Yep.
Like.
Yeah, it got people introduced and they allowed that criticism to come out about the compound bow. Yeah, you're right. But also, I think it the innocence of Hawkeye or not the innocence, but the willingness to accept somebody who's innocent.
He's got like great insight. He can see things really well.
Yeah, which is why he's an archer. But yeah.
Well, that's not even like what I was referring to. It's just that like he's got good eyesight.
Yeah.
But he's got good insight as well. So like he can read a situation and know what things are gonna do.
No, that's what I mean about archery too, though. Like that, you have to have that sort of insight. Like the hitting the moving targets is like when he shoots the exploding arrow at Loki in Avengers. Like you have to have like insight to like understand the wind patterns and trajectory. Like he's just a smart guy, Like he's a very insightful guy. You're right.
And I think we went over it, but like it sucks that he didn't get a solo film. And like the Black Widow movie, like it took so long for her to get her solo film.
Yep.
But like
he's getting a TV show called Hawkeye, but he won't even really be the lead.
He won't even be like the main character. Like it's his daughter who's the main character. He's just going to be another, like, unfortunately, another, like, just backup character.
Yep.
Not backup character, but I guess secondary lead.
Yeah, kind of like how Scarlett Johansson was the backup to Yelena in. Just kidding. In Black Widow. Just kidding.
No, I mean, Yelena was the backup character, just Scarlett.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, I don't know, like, Jeremy Renner, he's a good glue.
Yep.
He's able to play off all the actors. He's a good actor himself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
I said it so much better the last time. I feel like I'm not
you
doing
did.
justice.
Damn.
But
too bad we can't go back and fix the files, dude.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Corrupted
well.
files suck, guys. But thanks for listening. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Do we have anything else we want to add to this before? I mean, we have to do the rating, but is there anything else we want to do to the overall
I don't know, like,
analysis of the movie?
not really.
Yeah.
Like we said, like, the Destroyer was, like, so much better than, like, anything else.
Yeah.
Like, in the movie.
Yeah. The
I don't
menacing piece to it, yeah.
Overall, we thought the movie was pretty low.
Yeah.
It was a low 2.
We gave it a low 2 because we just didn't like the writing. I mean, there's some good stuff on Earth that happened, mostly with Coulson, Darcy, and
The starting scene of, like, pretty much any of the scenes with, like, Thor not knowing Earth culture.
Yeah.
Those were good scenes.
Yeah. Thor learning and being completely out of touch with Earth's reality and what it works, how it works. Those are good scenes, but everything else.
Also, Noah was actually talking about. I told him that we had recorded the Thor movies.
Yeah.
A little off tangent here, and he was like, "Oh, are you going to talk about how Hemsworth looks without his shirt on and sexualize him a little bit?" It's like,
yes.
It's like we could. But,
he looks great.
you know, Hemsworth really hates when people sexualize him.
Yeah, so we don't want to get on his bad side. We like the guy.
And
That's
he's like,
funny.
"Yeah, I know. That's why it would be funny if you talked about it." Like,
Oh no.
but yeah, like they kind of did, like, instead of making Jane Foster like the sex symbol, like, which
Yeah.
generally speaking,
they
like
do.
in any other movie, it would have been her as
Yeah.
the sex symbol for the movie.
Yeah.
They turned it into him being the sex symbol.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't want to do that, like, topless scene.
No,
Like,
they made him.
they made him do the topless scene. That's
They
kind of
did.
why he hated doing. He hates doing those
Well,
kind
he
of.
had to do it in Dark World, and he had to do it in Age of Ultron too, which is
Yeah,
he has to do it's
the shirtless scenes
It's like
and
he
stuff.
gets in the water in Age of Ultron to, like, whatever. I don't even remember the explanation why that water would teach him about the Infinity Stones. It's like a whatever, but he, like,
I
has to
think it
take
was
his
supposed
shirt
to
off.
do, the knowing well,
Yeah. It's like some sort of, like,
where, like,
informational
Odin
well.
put, like, it's the well that Odin goes to and talks to, and it's like, I can give you all seeing powers for
Yeah.
for your eye.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I think that's what that was supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, I think he got his eye cut out in the battle.
Well, in the movies, yes.
Right. Yeah. Oh, but in like mythology and the comics.
In mythology, yeah. He willingly gives up his eyes for all seeing power.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Or one eye for all seeing power.
One of them. One of the two.
But I just wanted to do that quick little tangent about
That's
Noah
funny.
saying, talk about him without a shirt on.
Yeah. I just don't think. I mean, I don't. Not that he's, like, gonna quit the movie because he has to be shirtless for a scene in a movie, but, like, just the fact that, he has to. I hope that he doesn't have to do one, or in Love and Thunder, or if he does, that
I don't think he did one in Ragnarok.
he did.
He did?
Yeah, it was like the scene where he's, like, in the room with the Hulk and he has to get undressed or whatever, or gets dressed. I'm pretty sure.
I don't
he's shirtless in
remember
that.
if he was shirtless or not.
Let's see. Let's take a look.
Was Thor shirtless in Ragnarok? Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's
He
shirtless
is?
in that room with Hulk. Yeah, when he's like, he like wakes up without clothes on him or without a shirt.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
And then he like instantly gets dressed.
yeah, pretty much.
That's fine. But yeah, so we gave the movie overall a low 2. Still a watchable movie. You can
Yep.
watch it once,
It's
get
decent.
all the stuff you want out of it,
Yep.
and
And then move on
set
with
it
your
on the
life. You
shelf,
never
never
think
watch
about
it
it
again.
again. Yep. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Post-credit scene, and this one was Eric Selvig
Is
uh,
Selvig going
kind
to
of being controlled by Loki while he was finding the Tesseract, which is the preview for the Avengers movie,
Yep.
which comes
Yes.
out after Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yep. And the Stan Lee cameo.
Which is interesting because, like, if you think about it, some of the post-credit scenes are like canon. Some of the
Yes.
post-credit scenes aren't.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I would say that this post-credit scene, despite it being a good post-credit scene, is not canon.
Yep. No.
Because of the stuff that we saw in Avengers.
Yep. How it plays out with him coming back to Earth and getting the scepter and everything, because it just doesn't follow the right path. Because I was thinking about this too the last time we filmed, is because he comes through the Tesseract with the scepter being that
Transformers 2, or not
Yeah.
Transformers, Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Like, that was a very Terminator 2 like scene.
Yep. Yeah. And in this, it shows Selvig already being mind controlled by Loki, who's apparently already on Earth. So,
yeah.
which doesn't happen in the same way. It shows because it shows Selvig meeting Fury already mind controlled, whereas he controls Selvig once he comes through after
Mm-hmm.
Selvig and Fury have already met and been working with the Tesseract. So
And then our Stan Lee cameo.
yeah,
Oh, well, so our post-credit scene.
we rated it a.
We rated it an A.
We did, yeah.
Um,
Because it shows the threat of Loki being on Earth and teases up Avengers, even if it doesn't, match up timeline wise. I think it's good. It's like it gives urgency to the Rainbow Bridge not being there anymore, and also,
needing to be fixed.
yeah, and also that just like we didn't know where Loki went. We thought he was dead. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Our post-credit scene is our Stan Lee cameo scene is Stan driving his, I think it was a Toyota, really.
yeah, what kind of car was it? Toyota.
It was a truck.
And he's at the
But he's at the hammer pole with all of the other New Mexico residents trying to pull this hammer, having a party.
Yep.
And he's got it hooked up to his truck, hooked up to his gooseneck,
Mm-hmm.
and tries to pull this hammer out, and it just rips the bed of his truck off of the back.
Mm-hmm.
And he like then turns around, and you see it's Stan Lee, and he's like, "Did I get it?
Did I get it?" Yeah, no, that's pretty good. What do
I
we
like
give it again?
I think I gave it an A, and I think you gave it a B.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So then we have a
B plus
like
and minus
B
situation.
plus cameo
Yeah.
for Stan Lee.
That's pretty good. Those are all solid ratings, I think, for this film at least. I don't know if that's better than most people would rate them or worse, but that's where we came up with. So if you have any
I think the general public
objections.
might rate this movie a little higher overall. Like,
Really?
if I'm thinking about it, like, if we have any fans that want to tell us their ratings on
Yeah.
any of the past movies we did,
Yeah,
leave them in the comments below.
absolutely.
But ultimately, at the moment, this is our lowest rated movie.
A low to
Then it's actually Iron Man 2.
Yep.
Then it's Incredible Hulk. Then Iron Man 1.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty fair.
if anybody wants to come in and tell us their ratings and tell us how we're wrong, do it nicely for one, because we
Yes.
might not
We
say
might
anything.
not like you if you say something mean to us. We'll bully
But give
you
us
back.
your reasonings and why your ratings are,
Yeah.
different than ours.
Let us know.
Change our minds.
Change my mind. I should get a sign that says that now. Change my mind. No. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching. Again, yeah, like we just said, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree, and why, and in a respectful way. And then leave us a like after you've done that. Subscribe if you have not already to the channel so you can see the rest of the How Bad Was It series. And we'll have a link in the description down below to the rest of the videos in the series so far that we've dropped. And it'll be on a playlist so you can just watch them all the way through, as if you were watching the Marvel movies. Basically, it's about the same sort of experience you're getting from both watching our videos, watching the movies. It's kind of the same. It's not the same at all. You're like sitting there like looking at me like, what is he talking about?
Go ahead and rate each of our How Bad Was It
Yeah.
and with how bad they were.
Do a How Bad Was It series on how bad our videos are.
We don't do that. I want to.
I think that would be too hard.
I want to think
And
we're
this
doing.
one, Dylan wasn't super insightful about how he talked about the Incredible Hulk. I don't think that he understood how bad of a movie it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. But anyways, yeah. Do all those things, especially the whole video series on our videos. Don't forget to shout us out in that on Instagram. Don't forget to send those to your grandma. And we will see you in the next video. Peace, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.